Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I like to talk about books, book reviews, reading vlogs, stuff like that. So if any of that interests you, then please subscribe. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Laura Dave book, The Night We Found Him. Is that right? I feel like her titles are always kind of like that. It's like The Last Thing He Told Me, The Night We Found Him. But today I'm going to be talking about that. So if you're interested in my thoughts on that book, then keep watching. So I'll start with a synopsis and then I'll follow it with some of my thoughts on the book. So The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave follows the death of wealthy entrepreneur Liam Noon and the effect it has on his various ex-wives and children and all of the people connected to him in his life, who he somewhat strategically kept quite distant from one another. So he does have various ex-wives, children from all of these marriages, but it seems like he tried to keep them kind of separate. And then, so following the death of their father, Liam, Nora and her half-brother, Sam, so again, these are like from different marriages, these are half-siblings, have the urge to look more closely into his somewhat mysterious death. The circumstances are a little bit mysterious, and they end up uncovering a lot about his life, or if I should say maybe more accurately lives, as he definitely seemed to live quite a few past and present, hence why he maybe kept things a little bit compartmentalized. So I'm not really gonna say a lot more about it because the rest of the plot is the story. That's the joy of reading it. But yeah, that's the basic idea, is that it follows this girl Nora and her half-brother Sam, and they're just kind of unraveling exactly what happened, the circumstances surrounding their father's death. He died at his beach house, and because he like fell off the edge of the cliffs, or seemingly possibly jumped off, or maybe was pushed. So that's kind of the whole idea of the book, and going through how he's connected to so many people and the mystery and circumstances of his life leading up to this. It's actually pretty intriguing. So I'm just going to get right into my thoughts on the story, and I'm just going to start with the kind of prologue opening segment, which I thought was so well done. Like, it definitely gave me chills the way that it was done, because it was actually from Liam's point of view, like leading up to when he died, which I feel like was a really cool choice. It was definitely intriguing. It definitely had you thinking about like the circumstances, and you kind of get a tiny glimpse into him, because for the rest of the story, obviously it's following his, like, after his death with his children. So I really like that we got that opening segment and like we're in his mind a little bit. It was honestly, it gave me chills as an opening segment. So I really liked the way that the book kind of opened with that bang of an event, got right into the action of everything, and yeah, just gave us an idea of who he was. Following that, I love the way that the story unfolded in the present day, but it also had flashbacks as well. So the present day segments were primarily Nora's point of view, and then it would go and have these flashbacks that would go back in time to like Liam when he was younger, and all of these different things that really added depth and dimension to the story and to the character of Liam, who I feel like was a great character to explore the death of and explore all of this surrounding him, because he was complicated. He was not so black and white, very gray, and all these different layers that we got to experience through like his life via flashback was super nice, because it just gave the story so much more. Without that, I think it would have felt a little bit too much like a nighttime soap. Although, to be fair, it still felt a little bit like that. Another thing that these flashbacks did was, outside of really giving us more character depth to Liam and to the whole family, it also provided exposition in a way that felt natural. So it provided background information and things that were coming up from the past, and instead of slipping it into sentences or the present day, it was a really easy way to just have a flashback and have that there, and then as the reader, you know things that maybe other characters don't know, or maybe they do know, but it was just such a really great way to provide that exposition. One of the things that I personally felt like this book balanced well was the family dynamics and the family kind of drama with the mystery and like the whole death mystery, murder mystery kind of, if you will. It had intrigue. We're wondering obviously a lot about all of the different characters' motives, whether or not Liam was killed, it was an accident, like all these things. We kind of know, but you know, we're still wondering exactly what happened, who was involved, and yeah, it didn't go overboard with either of these. There was a little bit, like I said, of that nighttime soap opera vibe kind of, but I feel like it was pretty balanced. Like it wasn't too much. It was not too much with the family drama, and it was a good balance of all of the elements in the story. Honestly though, it definitely could have been like a Gossip Girl plotline for sure. Take that as you will. And so I haven't really read a lot of other Laura Dave books other than The Last Thing He Told Me, and I did really enjoy that book. I think I might start reading more by her because this one was pretty good as well. This book gives some of the same energy as The Last Thing He Told Me, which, like I said, is the only other thing I've read by her. So I mean that as a compliment because I really liked that book. And I think a lot of that is just maybe her like writing style, but I do think that it kind of missed the mark. It not missed the mark, but it didn't hit the mark quite as spot on as The Last Thing He Told Me did. Something about The Last Thing He Told Me, the elements just came together so perfectly in that. And I think maybe because that one was a bit more of a mystery and this was more of like a murder mystery, kind of whodunit situation. So it's possible that that's just my personal preference, my tastes. But I definitely enjoyed that book more. I felt like it also had more of the on the run and being pursued aspects that just made it so engaging. Like it was just so engaging. So I definitely liked that more, but as another follow-up to an author that I've only read one other book by, this was a pretty solid one as well. I also think I might be really biased towards liking that book because I live in the Bay Area, which is close to where it takes place. It takes place in Sausalito and then also Austin, Texas. And at the time that I read it, I also ended up visiting Austin, Texas, like pretty around that same time. So I feel like I might be biased because when you visit places that you're reading about, it like brings it to life more. But I do think that that was like a book that I preferred more in general. So I don't know, that's just something to keep in mind. I feel like I naturally tend to compare things by the same author, for better or worse. I don't know if that's really fair. This is a pretty different story. But like I said, I felt like it was generally pretty balanced. I think if you like that book, you'd probably like this as well. I would recommend it, and I'm interested to know if other people have read it below. I know it's moderately new, but I'm a little bit late to this review. So yeah, let me know below if you've read it, what your thoughts were. I actually want to like truly discuss this, but I feel like my brain is so fried right now. I cannot think of every little thought that I have on it. So that's gonna be it for this review. Please drop a comment below if you want to kind of discuss this or if you're interested in reading it, and I will see you later.